Hello, and welcome to my first ever manga collection tour. Before we begin, I just wanted to say this is really my first time ever showcasing my full collection or current collection to its fullest, so I hope you enjoy. I probably will say I'm probably not going to go into full detail for every single volume or series that I have, but I might showcase a few personal favorites or gems that I find in my collection. But I do hope you enjoy. Okay, so on our first shelf we have what I call my fruits basket shelf, because it takes the majority of the first bookshelf. So right here we have the collector's edition from Yen Press of the re-release of the original manga. I decided to get the collector's edition because one, I love Fruits Basket, and two, I do have the original Tokipop versions, but sadly they are a little worn from years of damage and just water warped, because I accidentally got them wet from a window that was nearby my shelf. TLDR. But anyway, I do have the collector's editions. As you can see, I am missing 7 and as well as the other ones after this, but I figured since I already have the original series that I would just take my time collecting the collector's editions. So that's that. And then I do have the Fruits Basket's another series, which is, if you don't read Fruits Basket, is basically a spin-off. I guess spoilers kind of regarding like the children of the original Soma family. There is a 4th one, I believe, coming out, but I don't think it's released yet in English, and I don't know when it's coming out in English, but that's that. Right here I do have these seasonal art books that came out. If you were watching the anime, or if you followed Takaya Sensei on Twitter, for each episode she would do a little illustration pertaining to each episode. But yeah, she would compile each illustration into a little art book for each season. I can quickly show you an example referencing the episode she's talking about, and I believe there's like little inserts of the scene or episode meant to her, I believe, or you know what I mean. There is a 3rd one, but I have yet to order it. But I do hope to get that into my collection whenever I get the chance. This one right here, I have the original 2001 Fruits Basket anime soundtrack. I actually didn't intend on ever buying this, but I got it, I think in a Facebook market trade or Facebook group trade. That, or it was very cheap, I don't remember. But I bought it and I thought it was just it's cute. Yeah, what I thought was very cute, it has like the original soundtrack in here. I actually have yet to listen to it because I don't have a CD player. I do have one in my car, but I haven't yet to listen to it. But yeah. And over here I have the, I believe it's called Pinky Street. It's like a doll figure brand that does lots of cutesy dolls. And I guess at one point they had a Fruits Basket collab. This one, I actually saw this in one of my old, I think art books, that they mentioned, like, advertising this, and I was actually surprised to find this. I actually did find this also on a Facebook market group page. I think I got it for, like, a pretty good deal, so I ended up just getting that. But it's very cute. I did open her when I first got her just to see, but I thought to just leave her in this case, so I have her stuck up here for the moment. And this right here, I believe, is a original character book from when the series was first serializing in the early 2000s. Again, I also found this from another Facebook group market thing for a pretty good steal. So I got that. As you can see, the art is pretty old or older in Takaya Sensei's original style for Fruits Basket. And then right here I have this is one of my newer editions. I believe this is Takaya Sensei's art collection, because it not only includes Fruits Basket, but it also includes our other works other series that she's worked on. But of course, it's in her like newer style on the covers. I haven't actually read any of her other series because I just never got around to it for some reason. I don't know why, but I think I'll eventually get around to that. And this one actually, so a lot of the artwork in this book is I already have in my other art books. The only difference really is that it has, again, the other arts from her other works, which I guess is really neat towards the end of the page. But I'm not too familiar with the other series, but maybe one day I'll get around to it. Maybe we'll see. And then I have this little Toru fruit basket stand, acrylic stand from a art mutual of mine's. I will link them in the description. I'll try to link any merch I have in the description if it's possible. But yes. And on the second shelf, like I mentioned before, I do have the entire collection of the original Tokyo Pop editions. This is actually the first, I believe one of the first series I've completed on my own. Well, I have had smaller series that like maybe 2 or 3 volumes long that I've completed, but my first ever like big set I completed on my own. And I've had since probably before middle school, since I've been reading Fruit Basket. And of course I have my little Yuki plush, and then I have the matching Kyo in the corner. I'm gonna put them together. And then I have the original Fruit Basket 2001 anime DVD box set. I remember saving all my money back in like I think 7th grade or whatever to buy this set. And you can see I have the complete season of the original anime. I actually watched a few times. As you can see here, this is from Moving in Terror. We don't really use of course we don't use DVDs anymore, but it's just really sentimental to me. And then right here I have the little extra books here. So I have the sticker collection album, which again was just a collection of stickers. Oh. Well, the first couple pages are just like little synopses for the characters. When she gets to the back, there's like a bunch of stickers. Do you ever have that feeling of like not wanting to waste stickers because you're just scared of like wasting them and things? And then I have the original band book, The Banquet, First Bite, which is basically a re-release of Volume 1 with a few extra chapters at the end, like fun things to do. And I have this journal, hardcover journal, which I have not used because I'm too scared of wasting the pages. And then I also found this randomly also in a Facebook market group, which is kind of like a character book, and like little tidbits of like the manga and stuff. I think I've skimmed through it. I've never actually read this, but it was pretty a pretty cheap steal, so I just grabbed it. Okay, so now in the second half of this bookshelf, I have I believe all the volumes of Horimiya. I would say the character Izumi is like my top 3 favorite characters of all time. I personally relate to him very like wholeheartedly, especially the way I was in high school. I just hold him very dear to my heart personally. I also have the 2 art books, I believe. This is I think it's called the 100-page memorial book or something like that. I have this one, and then I also have the graduation book, I believe is what it's called. I think this book is so darling. Like It's just very precious. Like, it's just like whole collection of like every single artwork by Hero. And there's me and Murakun. And the other classmates. I believe they were in the back of this book. I think there's a raffle to get like the actual like diploma or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I think you're supposed to send in like a postcard or something and win it in like a raffle. I don't know. But yeah. There is a third art book, but I've yet to add it to my collection. But eventually I will get there. And then right here I have the Shoujo editions of Maid-sama. I think I'm missing the very last one, but I've yet to go get it. But I will eventually. I see this is another one of my top series that I really like. It's actually been quite some time since I read it, so maybe I'll reread it at some point. Cause I've never actually finished it. Or like, I think I had like the last 2 volumes I've never finished. Cause if you don't know, Maid-sama was originally published by Tokyopop, and they just stopped printing it at some point, so I never really got to finish it. They only printed, I think, the first few volumes, and they just never did the rest, and I was kind of very sad, because I really love the Tokyopop editions of these books, because the covers were so pretty. But sadly, they never finished printing them. But I am so happy that Tokyopop picked them back up. But again, I do hope to get the last volume of the series. Oh, and then right here we have this this homemade fruit basket pencil holder cup thing that I made. And I also have this souvenir fruit basket cup. If anyone went to the premiere for the first season in theaters, you got this cup of Funimation, as well as some buttons and a keychain or a lanyard. And then moving on to the bottom half of this first shelf, it's just pretty much a miscellaneous pile of just art stuff like paints and art books, and I believe these are all like my Japanese work pages that I just never got around to organizing. And there's some few sketchbooks and some more. I leave my cookbooks are in here and markers and stuff. So that's just all miscellaneous art things. I don't have a proper place to put them at the moment, but for now they're home here, so that's fine. Okay, moving on to this second shelf, I have here quickly this top shelf I just purely for display. I have my Clo book. I have a cute pot and this antique, I believe it's Disney cat teapot that I got from a flea market once upon a time ago. I just quickly wanted to like show that off because I love this little top display. Yes, hopefully I'll get the other Clo book eventually. Okay, starting at the second shelf, I have the first 7 volumes of Blue Period. This is actually one of the newer series in my collection. I actually started reading this right before the anime released, so I was kind of reading it as the anime was going, which is kind of fun. I feel like this is a really good read for any artists out there. I know for me personally, as someone who identifies themselves as an artist, it really talks about like the struggles and like the qualms of being an artist, but also like the good and slash like just like the overall like life of wanting to be an artist and like the faults and stuff. But yeah, any artist, I highly recommend reading this. It's definitely a big personal fave of mine. And then I also have these miniature Yaguchi art canvases. If you ever saw my my Blue Period unboxing video, then you know this came within that the shop. I believe the shop is still open and you can still buy this merch. But I just thought it was really precious and it's really cute to display on the shelf. And then I have the first 2 volumes of Princess Jellyfish. I would say Princess Jellyfish is probably like one of my top animes. The only thing I don't like is that it abruptly ends. So I think that's why I wanted to get started reading the manga. I've yet to properly read these. I just have them, but I haven't got around to actually reading them because, again, if you watch the anime, you know it kind of just ends. There's no real ending to it. But I don't know, it was a really good series. I love the characters, they're all funny. And I believe this is one of the first like josei titles I've ever like tried to keep up with or read or like watched in a way. But again, I love the characters and I want to know more about them, so hopefully eventually I'll get around to actually reading them. And then next to it, I have My Lesbian Experience of Loneliness, as well as My Slow Exchange Diary, and the following series that goes to them. If you don't know about the series, it's an autobiographical of the author Nagata Kabi and her struggles with like depression and like loneliness and just like mental health and the way her views on it. I find this to be a very interesting read for me personally. I haven't read all of them yet. I think I only read half of the Solo Exchange Diary, and then I got these two. But again, I still haven't got around to reading them. This right here, I found randomly, not looking for anything to buy. But while I was at the bookstore with a friend, I stumbled upon this randomly, and I thought it was really fun. I Am a Cat Barista. It's basically a slice of life of a cat barista. That's it. Each chapter is pretty much self-contained. It's basically every character has some sort of problem, and then the cat barista comes and whips them up some sort of meal or drink to make them feel better and help them solve their problem. It's overall a feel-good type of story, and it's just very cute. So I recommend if you want something simple to read, feel good, just pick up I Am a Cat Barista. And then over here is another new title in my collection called Cheeky Brat. I know it's actually a pretty old series that was never printed in English. I believe last year Yin Press licensed this and printed it in English officially. But again, I do know this is a pretty old series because I have seen these characters, especially him, like all over the internet since I was like in middle school. But again, I never knew who he was, and I never read it online, so I never read it until now. But I'm kind of glad I did I'm reading it now because this gives off such a classic old school shoujo vibes, and I'm loving it. I don't know if nowadays if this type of protagonist would be well liked, but I don't know, I'm having a fun time with it, and it just brings me back to like my old school young shoujo self reading this in like middle school, and I don't know, I find it very charming and endearing. I don't know, it's very much nostalgia vibes for me, and even though I've never read it before, but I love it, it's really nice. I have the other two volumes currently. I've only read the first volume. I think I read a couple of chapters of the second, and I've gonna hopefully continue into reading the third. And right next to that, I have the completed series of Cherry Juice. And if you don't know what Cherry Juice is, I'm sorry. No, but seriously, it's a very old series from Tokyo Pop. Yeah, if you don't know what Cherry Juice is, it's pretty much a very old shoujo manga series that came out in the early 2000s about two step-siblings who have a complicated relationship and have crushes and develop feelings for one another and so on and so forth. Or it's like a maybe, won't she, won't he type of situation. I don't know if it would be very popular nowadays, but for me, it holds such a weird place in my heart. And I don't know, maybe just the nostalgia factor for me, but I don't know. It's something that, again, I'd say played a very key role in my manga collection journey. But I keep it. I know nowadays it'll probably be very problematic, but in the sense of the relationship, I don't know. I think it's purely nostalgia for me as to why I keep it in my collection. And then right here I have the first couple volumes of Ouran High School Host Club. I did actually read the manga way after I had finished the anime, but I did want to maybe possibly get the rest of the collection. As you can see, I have 1, 2, and 3, and 9. I don't know. I'm considering maybe getting the box set, possibly, or getting them used, secondhand. Because I did actually enjoy reading these a lot, and hopefully maybe I can reread them at some point. Because the anime is part of my middle school collecting experience, so. And overall, it's pretty much a fun time for me personally. And then right next to it, I do have the completed set of Millennium Snow. And if you don't know what Millennium Snow is basically, I believe, another work by Bisco Hattori, and I believe it came out right before Host Club did actually, but because Host Club got more popular, she took a hiatus on this series and continued publishing Host Club, and then once Host Club was finished, she continued on finishing Millennium Snow. But yeah, Millennium Snow is basically about a 17-year-old girl, Chiyuki, who was born with a heart condition and doesn't have much long time to live, and while she's in the hospital, she ends up meeting a vampire. His name is Toya, who actually does not like drinking blood and doesn't like the idea of turning people into vampires. And of course, they start to form a friendship and start to share their ideas and views on life and just life in general, and start to teach each other about like compassion and stuff like that. And it's a very cute read. It does give very much classic shoujo vibes. And then right here I have a couple of volumes of Shugochara. I did also read this in its entirety via my library. I've never actually watched the anime, I kind of missed out on that, but I really did enjoy the manga, and I think maybe I will probably complete it at some point. And then right here I have the completed English releases of Lucky Star. Lucky Star, if you don't know, it was a very popular anime in the early 2000s, prime staple in the anime community at some point, I believe. The manga itself is a 4-koma or like 4-panel comic originally that became an anime. I do have every single volume that was released in English. I believe there is a 9th volume that was just never released in English for whatever reason, but I do have the entirety of that. Right here I do have the first 3 volumes of My Androgynous Boyfriend. It's another cute read. Again, it's another new addition to my collection within the past couple years. I think it's very wholesome, and it just makes you think about like gender identity and like wholesomeness and just the relationships of within gender identity in general. I don't know, I just think it's a very sweet read. And also the characters are very fashionable, which I think is really cool. And then on the bottom shelf of that, I have this homemade zodiac display that I got from a friend for my birthday a couple years back, and I keep it here because it's really big and I just love it displayed out right here in the middle. I originally wanted it to be with my fruit basket part, but again, it's too big, so I just left it right here with its own little shelf. And then right here I have a couple of dream books and magic books, this vintage teddy bear that actually winds up, and a jar of cat teeth. And then underneath this shelf I have the first 6 volumes of L-DK, which I started reading right after Fruit Basket ended. This series is very much a messy shoujo title. Is it shoujo? Josei? I don't know. But it's pretty much main protagonist girl wants to live on her own, but then discovers that protagonist boy lives right next door, which ends up being the principal of the school, and through circumstances has to live with each other. Hijinks ensue and they develop feelings. I remember really loving the drama of this, but it's been quite some time since I actually read this, and I don't know how many volumes are out, but I do plan on picking this back up very soon. I've just been kind of lazy with reading. And then right next to that I have a couple of volumes of Blackbird, and I would say this is probably one of my top series, like top 5 favorite series of all time. But Blackbird is pretty much basically about protagonist Misao. Here she wants to have a normal high school life, and all she wants to do is get a boyfriend. But of course her little secret is that she can see demon or ghost, and she just doesn't know what to do with herself, but she just wants to have a normal life. But with hijinks ensue, her childhood crush comes back, Kyo, and also turns out to be a demon, and she has to fulfill some sort of like bridal prophecy. Again, I'm sorry if I'm bad at explaining this, but yes. I say if you like Japanese folklore with lots of romance, then I think this would be up your alley. Even though I don't have the complete set of this, I have read all of the manga in its entirety, several times actually. But I do hope to hopefully get the rest of the series eventually. And then over here I do have another series from my childhood, a series called Plus Anima. I have every single volume except for number 10, because I thought it ended at 9, but it turns out there's a 10th volume, which I have yet to get. These are probably out of print, to be honest, because these are the old Tokyopop editions. I do hope to maybe replace these, because they did get water damage along with my first baskets, to a better series, to a better conditions, but I haven't gotten around to it. The one thing I do love about these covers is that they're actually horizontal. I don't think I've ever seen any other manga do this, have the cover sideways, but I thought it was pretty neat. Basically, Plus Anima is about our main protagonist Kuro, who has the crow-like ability or powers, as long as with the other rounds of characters who also have animal-like abilities, who are very pretty much prejudiced against the normal humans in the world, and they go on an adventure to try to find acceptance and their own like found family. This is a series that I wholeheartedly wish had an anime adaptation, because I feel like in the early 2000s this would have been like a really fun anime to have, especially with like the adventure type story. But I feel like the series never got really like talked about. Like I don't know many people who actually read this series before, because it is quite old, but I like really love the series so much. And then over here I do have a couple volumes of the Black Butler series. Actually when I started Black Butler, because I did watch the original anime, both seasons, and I actually never thought it would be something I would continuing or really liking, but I've been actually following this since like the beginning of its serialization in English. I did watch the anime, and I do plan on watching the other spin-off like Book of Circus and Atlantic, because actually Book of Circus is my favorite arc in this entire series. But I think maybe I'll give this a reread at some point, or or at least try to catch up with where I'm at. I think I'm behind by like 2 or 3 volumes that I need to read and catch up on, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And then right here are the first 2 volumes of Sweet Young Men. These are the hardcover editions. A quick synopsis on Sweet Young Men. It's basically about Buddha and Jesus sharing an apartment in modern day Tokyo, and they're on vacation. That's it. It's a very fun read. If you know biblical stories or know a little bit about biblical history, it's pretty funny. There's a lot of Easter eggs. But yeah, I know the manga goes way past the movie, which I have watched several times. I actually usually tend to watch the movie during Christmas time, because it's such a Christmassy feeling movie in a way. Yes, if you haven't read this, it's another fun read, and I do hope to eventually get the rest of the series whenever I get the chance. And then last in this corner, I have the complete series of Saint Lunatic. Saint Lunatic is another old series from back in the early 2000s by Tokyopop. It's only 2 volumes long, but another prime in my middle school collecting journey. As you can see in the back of this volume, it's pretty tattered from how old it is and how long I've had it. But it's such a nostalgic series for me growing up. A quick synopsis. Forced to attend the prestigious St. Lunatic High School, Niko Kanazaki discovers a haunting secret in her demon-filled night classes. She applies higher learning to find out the differences between humans and demons, but the handsome and mysterious Ren shows her that the races also share some things in common. Full of cute boys, delicious secrets, and Devil Noir demons, Machiko Sensei first manga series is A+ of magic mayhem. Again, it's a cute, fun read. It's nothing too serious. It's just a lighthearted story about spooky things and just fun things overall. I highly recommend, especially for young readers. If they want to get into manga. I'm actually really sad that it was only 2 volumes long, because it was a very fun read. I haven't seen anything up by this author ever again, but if you do know any other titles, please let me know. And then I also have the completed 2 volumes of Beastmaster, another short series, Yoshino Zukukara, which I have not actually read yet, but I heard good things about it. And I have Reindeer Boy by Cassandra Jean. It's just an artist that I follow, and I believe she does a lot of like American novels that could turn into like manga. But again, I've just been following her. But yeah, it's just another fun, cute read about like our main character who like somehow meets a collection of reindeer people, and they just learn to like coexist and like friendship and stuff. It's just fun. It's very lighthearted and like much Christmassy vibes. And then underneath here I have a couple of volumes of Vampire Knight, as well as the limited edition version of volume 19, which also came with this mini art book. I also have the official Vampire Knight fan book, as well as the first 3 volumes of Memories. I did watch all of the anime back in the day when it first aired, but I actually never completely read all of Vampire Knight. High-key, I have a love-hate relationship with the series. Because I read most of this, and I think up to some point, and then it was years later that I ended up just spoiling it for myself, because I never got around to completing the series. And then I wasn't sure whether or not to like unhaul this from my shelf or just keep it. So right now I'm just still undecisive about it, and I'm just keeping it here for the time being. I think the only thing that's holding me from like getting rid of the series is just pure nostalgia, and also whenever I hear the opening, chef's kiss, as well as the art is beautiful. And then next to here I have a couple of single volumes. I have 1 volume of Daytime Shooting Star, which I started. I have 1 volume of Kinship Princess, which I did originally read the entire series back in middle school. But I would like to have it in my personal collection at some point. I have A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School. I only have the first volume, because I never ever see the other volumes in the bookstores, but they are available, they're online, so I think eventually I'm gonna try to catch up to these. I know this one's pretty much like a comedy. It's a random, ordinary human teacher who starts teaching at a ghoul school. It's pretty funny. I find it pretty endearing. Like I said, I don't ever see the rest of these volumes ever in the bookstore, but when you go online, they're all there, so maybe I will have to order them to get the rest of the series. I don't know if it's completed or not, but I did quite enjoy this. And then I have a couple volumes of Bakuman. I think every single volume except for the last one when it originally came out. I don't know why I just never finished it. But I would like to at some point reread these, because I felt like they were very encouraging for me as someone who really wanted to make manga back in high school. So I think I'm probably going to read that. And then I have Bungo Stray Dogs, just the first 2 volumes. I did read them at some point, but it's been quite a long time. And as a recording of this video, I just found out season 4 of the anime is coming out, and I've only watched the first 2 episodes of it. So I think this is my sign to like actually get into the series properly. Because it's just, does anyone else have that series where it's one that you have not watched or read yet, but you know you will thoroughly enjoy it, but for some reason you just never watched or read it? For me, that's Bungo. And I've just been kind of like, I don't know what's keeping me from reading it, but I think this is my time to start the anime at least. And then right here I have the first 3 volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm still debating whether or not I should actually collect this series, because I do enjoy the anime thoroughly, but I don't know if I want to continue to actually collect it. You know what I mean? Like, I read these, and I'm very hesitant on reading the rest of the manga. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should collect it or just like read it online, or I don't know? What are your opinions? And right here, this another series that I really love. It's another part of my high school, middle school collecting journey. It's called Nightmare Inspector. This is a very more dark, grittier series. It's pretty much like a psychological mystery. You follow this main character who is a Baku, or a dream eater, and each chapter is very episodic. Basically, a client comes in with some sort of dream problem, and the Baku here has to go in their dreams to solve their problem, and you find out that their problem has to do with some sort of outside world trauma or problem. And there's also a B storyline pertaining to the real reason why he exists, and so forth. And I don't know many people who actually read this also, because again, I think it's one of those shows that's very old, and not one. It's like, and it's like manga only type of thing. But yes, I do hopefully plan on finding the rest of these. I only have 1, 5, and 6, so hopefully eventually I can find the rest of these. Because I don't know if they're out of print or not, which they might be, but we'll see. And in this small pile here, I have the first 2 volumes of Watakoi, a Japanese version of Yotsuba, an extra copy of Black Butler Volume 1, and this one I'm actually borrowing from my younger sibling, the girl from the other side. I know Watakoi I just recently got into because I started the anime not that long ago, and around the same time, I believe the last volume, which I think is 6, just released. And because I love the anime so much, I think I only have 4 episodes left. I decided to get the manga as well, and hopefully I can get through that and then get the rest of the Wotakoi series. Because I don't know, it's very charming. Because I haven't actually watched a good like shoujo series in a very long time. Though I know Wotakoi is considered a josei because they are in their 20s. I just haven't watched like a classic romance anime in a very long time, and it's just very refreshing to me. And I'm actually very surprised I have not read this way earlier. But I did buy these used at Book Off not that long ago. And I wanted to share this little side shelf. There's no books in here, but I just wanted to share because in my old room I did have this as my fruit basket shelf. But right now I just have as a miscellaneous like shelf of like knickknacks and things, my bottles, my trinkets. I do hope to put some plants on here. And then I have my little pile of 19 days Tsum Tsums and SQ Tsum Tsums. I have no other place to put them, but that they were cute just to display them here for now. Oh, I also wanted to quickly share this wonderful frame that I have of this print of Elias from Ancient Magnus Bride. I got this print a couple months ago at a con, and I bought this frame secondhand at their shop, and I just wanted to like show off how like perfect it looks together. But also because side note, I'm debating whether or not to actually read Ancient Magnus Bride. I did watch the anime and I loved it, but I found out that that the manga does continue, and there's actually more side stories, like there's more mangas, but like not the main cast, and there's like light novels that have like other characters within the same like I guess universe of Ancient Magnus Bride. And I was wondering if anyone has ever like read it or collected, and if I should also maybe start it, because I've been debating whether or not to like actually start the series, because again I do love the anime, and I'm like debating whether I should start actually collecting those series. I don't know if they have like a box set, but if anyone has like maybe used ones, but maybe if anyone's willing to like sell me their series, or if they have, maybe I can find some online that are used. I'm considering. But yeah, if you read the series, if you read the manga, let me know if you think it's worth collecting and like reading and stuff. Now on to our last shelf that's in my bedroom. This shelf doesn't really have manga on it per se, but it does have things pertaining like my art books and referencing books that I like to keep on hand. And I thought it'd be fun to still show off and share with you guys. On the top shelf I have just some few Pokemon that I keep. I also have like my 19 Days dolls, which I don't have anywhere to display right now, so I just keep them up here for safekeeping. So the main shelf here, I have my Okami figure that I have displayed here that I got gifted from my brother. She's really gorgeous. Yeah, the one thing I love about this figure that it actually glows and it actually shimmers like the fire, and she's just so beautiful. And also another fun thing about her, she has a little mirror, which I thought was really cool. That's up here. I never used to really be a figure type of person, but for some reason this past like year and a half, I've gotten really into figures for some reason. And this one's like, I would say my top favorite that I have in my collection. And then over here I have the complete series of the Inuyasha DVD box sets. They're not actually mine, so I'm actually borrowing from my sibling, but I just keep it here for safekeeping. And then this right here is my Inuyasha Posca figure that I got from GameStop not that long ago, and I thought he was just so cute, and I just needed Inuyasha in my collection because if you don't know me, Inuyasha is one of my top favorite series. I have such a bias for it, so I grew up watching it. And then on the second shelf here, I don't have much manga on here, but I do have a small BL corner here. I have The World's Greatest First Love, or also known as Sekaiichi Hatsukoi, if you watch the anime. I don't have many physical copies of BL, but I love this series very much. I just love the dynamic of the main cast, especially these two. I don't know if I'm going to ever collect the rest of the series, but I'm actually considering more recently because I haven't caught up with the manga. I think I'm like a volume or so behind, but I'm debating on actually collecting it. But I do have the first volume of it that I did get, I believe, secondhand from Book Off. I have the first, not the first, but I have volumes 1 and 2 of 10 count. I might collect these because I think there's only like 6 in the volume in the series, but I do have that. I do have all of the releases of Sasaki and Miyano, which I can say is probably like my top 3 anime that I've watched personally. I have the first 5 volumes. I know volume 6, I believe, is coming out sometime at the end of this month. So I just keep them here. I thoroughly enjoy the anime. For me, it's been such a long time since I've watched just a pure romance anime, and it's so sweet. It just makes my heart flutter. So yeah, I keep that here. And then I have some quick merch. I have a pin from Sekaiichi Hatsukoi, as well as a keychain, and then I have this collector's pencil case, which I used once, but I ended up messing it up from there's an ink splat on one of the sides, and to prevent that, I just keep it on display now only. I have this little birthday souvenir that I bought myself this past year, and then I have this collector's Sekaiichi Hatsukoi mug, and then I keep my 2 Miyamura and Yakimaru from Dororo Nendos. I keep them in here. I think eventually I'll give them their own shelf, but I think right now I just keep them here for safekeeping. And then once in a while I'll take them out when I'm doing photo shoots and stuff. And then when we get to the bottom shelf, we get more of the art books and Japanese books and references and stuff. And then I also have this random CD of the original Brass Rock Angels. I do have the original CD case. I think it's in my car, but I have this here. Hi. Okay. Okay, so this is future editing Ivy here. While I was doing this editing, I realized I don't know what happened, but this video is already way too long, so I think I'm just gonna quickly rapid fire what I have on the shelf. If you have any questions, maybe I can answer them in the comments. for more details. But for now, we're just gonna quickly go over everything. I'm not gonna try not to go too in depth because again, this video is already way too long than I anticipated. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so now going down to the third shelf, I have a variety of art books, as you can see. So starting from the beginning left side of the shelf, right here I have the art of Vampire Knight, released by Viz Media and Shoujo Beat. I actually received this as a birthday present one year. It's probably early high school, I think, that I got this. Then I also have the Arthur Spiderwick's Field Guide. I'm really into like fantasy and like dragons and stuff. And I've had this probably since elementary school, or known about it since elementary school. So I have this copy here. And on the third book, I have Tanju's. I'm sorry, I'm gonna like butcher these names. I have Tanju's art collection. If you know this artist, they're well known for the web series SQ or Their Story. They also work with the Mospaka illustration agency. I forget the name, but they're the partner to Old Chen. And then speaking of Old Chen, I have collection 2. Old Chen is actually one of like, I would say my all-time maybe top 2 or 3 favorite artists that I follow. I just love how clean and like simple they make their art. I don't know how to describe it, but like everything's so simple. But they're known for their art for the 19 Days web series. And I do have this poster hanging on my wall in the corner. I also have, I think this is like the first illustration book for Fruit Basket. I could be wrong. I just know it's like one of the earliest art books that I own from Takaya Sensei. But again, I could be wrong. But yeah, this is all of like the early 2000 Fruit Basket art book. I also have the Tea Dragon Society, the Dororo art book from the anime. I really love Dororo, and I love that I got my hands on this art book. The only thing I do wish that I feel like I wish this had more full colored drawings. A lot of it's sketch and like artwork from the show, like cell frames and stuff. But nonetheless, I still do adore this artwork. And actually, I've been eyeing the figure for like the longest time, and it's so expensive, and I'm so mad at myself for not pre-ordering it because I cannot find this anywhere. But hopefully one day I'll be able to get that figure. This one right here is actually the latest addition to my art book collection. As you can see, it's a Sasuke Miyano Candy art book collection. I believe I found this in Kinokuniya a few months back. I went going not looking for an art book, but I was surprised to like see this like released, so I did quickly pick this up. I loved how like it just reminds me of like watercolor, and even if I don't know if you can see the texture of this cover is like watercolor paper. And I know for me, watercolor is something that I like loved using growing up, and it makes me want to do like watercolors again. So I grabbed this. I just like the back, it's really cute. It has the other couple. And then right here I have the Tanju SQ art book. Well, not really art book, I guess kind of an art in a way. It's basically a collection of all the webcomics in one book, in just the art book style. The one thing I kind of wish there was an English release, because like all the comics are in Chinese, so I can't technically read the book, but I still like looking at the art. I kind of remember what some of the comics were about from it being like on Twitter and online and stuff. But other than that, yeah, it did in fact come with like the poster of the cover. But I do not have that hung up. I do have the little postcard hung up on my wall, I believe. Or I did. But yeah, I just really love like the art style. Like again, it's like very simplistic but detailed at the same time. I wish I could explain it better, but one of my other top 3 favorite artists. Oh, and I actually skipped this one. I have the Steve Universe Art and Origins book. Steve Universe is one of my like favorite series that I really love. I like this book because like as someone who really wanted to go into animation and thoroughly just loves animation in general, I got this because again, like I love animation, I love Steven Universe, and I just love looking at like the behind the scenes type of things, and overall Steven Universe's aesthetic is very like pleasing, you know. So I have that here. It's actually really big, and it's like really hard to like store on this shelf without putting it like sideways. So I put it right there because I think the other way around is just too long, I think. Oh, actually, oh look, it fits. Kind of. I don't know, it just looks very out of place and odd. so I just like flip it this way for it to like look nicer. I don't know. And then I have the 3 Black Butler artworks by Yana Toboso, which probably my top 3 artists that I love, because Yana Toboso's artwork is just like very breathtaking, and like I just like literally like artist goals. I'm not gonna pull them out, but I can just put in like the covers right here. But yeah, I just love Yana Toboso. I did find out there's a 4th one coming out, I believe. I don't know when, but it's coming out soon. Also, I did notice that for some reason Yen Press did publish the first one in English, or like just have it in English, but for some reason the 2 and 3 are just not by Yen Press. I had to get these, I think, via Kinokuniya, or I think, yeah, it was Kinokuniya, and I think I got these 2 from a con, which I think, yeah. And then right here I have this art by Rayhan Artworks on, I think, Instagram and maybe Twitter as well. This is basically her project art book with her characters and her own projects that she did. This is her main character, Anubis. She has a thing with like Egyptian gods and stuff. I have this art book because I really love that she uses like Copic markers and like more traditional art instead of like digital, and that's something that I always what kind of made me want to become like a manga artist and stuff, because like Copics and things. But yeah, I did support her and buy her art book, and it's something that I've always admired in her work, and she does very detailed work, which I'm really like aspired to do. Also, I think I did an unboxing of this ages ago. I don't remember. If I did, I'm going to like put it up here if I did, in the card. But yeah, definitely support her work. Okay, this video is getting a little bit way too long, so I'm just going to quickly show the cover and the title, and then you can go ahead, maybe leave a comment for any details, but again, I'm just going to show it, so you can always do research on your own and where to get it. But this is what I have. I have the Mirror 10 count art book. I also have the Junjin Omegaverse fan book, which is basically an art book. I have the Given Illustrations art book. I have the Chobits art book, which I believe this is technically, I think, my first ever art book. I had this probably since middle school. It's kind of falling apart as well, and it's from Tokyo Pop. I have this one I got recently. It's a fashion book. I got this more for like referencing and stuff. I have the Tricky Wagon 2019 Sketches book. I have this one, this etchings by, I believe they were known as Cartoon Girl 7 on DeviantArt at the time. I don't think they do art anymore, or at least post anything, but I got this back in the day, probably, well actually, maybe this might be my first art book. This was pretty old, and it did get water damage as well from like my Fruits Basket book. It's a fairly old zine from like, I think I was like a freshman in high school when I got this. It's pretty old, but I still adore this artwork. I believe this artist doesn't post art anymore, like they stopped posting their artwork, because I believe that they're in the medical field now, but I wish them the best, and I do miss their art. But again, I hope they're doing well, and it really did inspire me growing up, especially when I was on DeviantArt. And then I have this Dororo fanzine that came in a box that I also did an unboxing in one of my videos. I have this Equinox zine from Chukiwagon again. I have this one. I don't remember who the artist is. I got this from DeviantArt. I don't remember if this was a fanzine or if this was like the original work. But I will put the name up if I can remember it. I have this Bean Puppy Cat cookbook. I used to have the comic books, but then I ended up unhauling it and giving it to a friend. And then I have the 2020 sketches from Tricky Wagon, as well as the 2018 sketches from Tricky Wagon. And then I also have this random kids how to draw manga book that I got from, I think, Kinokuniya. And then right here I have the 3 sketchbooks I got from my Blue Period unboxing box. And then I have some random journals. I have 2, I believe, Lala. Oh no, wait, I think this is Yume. Oh no, yeah, this is Yume, Hanatsu Yume manga magazines that I got from, I believe, online. CD Japan. I got them from CD Japan. One of them is the 45th anniversary, and the other is the Fruits Basket edition. And of course, it's Fruits Basket, so I had to grab it because it's like the cover was like so pretty. I think it did come with like, I think, bookmarks or something inside, because I do know like some of these magazines do come with things. I've yet to got a manga magazine that comes with anything like super fancy, but yeah, I mostly just got this for the cover. I don't know what like series are currently being published in here. Oops. I mostly just got it for the cover. And the last thing I have here is this Fairies How to Draw book that I got from my elementary school librarian from like 6th grade or something. But yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to quickly mention my like 4th and 5th shelf on the bottom here. There's not much in here, just like I wanted to note that I do have a few other like these were used manga magazines that I got from a con. There's, I think, 2 Gothic Lolita Bibles. I got this one on my birthday a few years back, and then I got this one, I believe, on my first, I think, New York trip. I got this one from, I think it was Book Off. And then I have like the original like Pokemon Silver and Gold guidebook. You can tell how old it is, how like beat up it is, and also the pages are kind of falling out. But I have that here. And then underneath this little case, I have random magazines. Actually, I keep my Nintendo boxes in here. I do have some like random Neopet magazines from like when I was a child. I don't have every single one. I have like ones that I just got from like eBay and stuff when I was like in middle school. Some of them didn't come with posters. I think I do have the poster for this one. I don't know where it's at. I do have it. But I have a ton of just random Neopet magazines because I had an obsession with them. I still kind of do, but it's been a while. But yeah. So yeah, that pretty much sums up my manga tour. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Also, maybe you have any suggestions for manga that I should read, or even perhaps you have any videos that I could probably watch, because I do quite enjoy those. But yeah, other than that, I hope you did enjoy this video, and perhaps I'll see you next time. But until then, bye!